Okay, I had an idea recently. Sometimes there's a lot of shields missing from certain tiers. You think, well, in the Bronze Age, we're lacking a tower shield. We're lacking a round shield, even. Just a buckler. I think, well, that's okay, bucklers. They're already better. Parrying is just so good. It's so good relative to the tower shield and the round shield. It's just, well, the parrying is the best shield function right now, and because of that, the round shields are the best because they're the best at that. I think this should change, and I think with the change, there should be some additional balancing done to shields. This doesn't have to be introduced now. It doesn't have to be introduced, let's say, retroactively early into all of the previous tower shields. But I have an idea that could be a Mistlands tower shield that could be really, really good for introducing and incorporating these ideas into the future of the game. We still have 3 biomes to explore. I think being able to get this really nice tower shield in the Mistlands going forward, that would give you a good amount of time to really get your tank on, really start crushing it, especially in co-op. And this idea is, well, you look at the trends of the tower shields. Here's wood, look at the design, iron, black metal, up here, design. They all look like doors. They're kind of just like your classic door shape. Mistlands, what's the door shape? A hexagonal gate like this, your Dvergr door. I think having a tower shield that looks like this would be phenomenal. Maybe it could be even a somewhat smaller repurposed Dvergr door. Maybe a prototype that you could work in the design into a tower shield and stylize it however. I think using the knocking as a mechanic somehow to get enemies pulled towards you, to kind of annoy them in a radius of noise and volume and really get them aggroed on you specifically, whoever's doing the knocking, would be really good. I think having some sort of door open, you're slamming the door open at the enemies, would also be a great mechanic. Be some decent damage, knockback plus staggering. That would be really cool. I think in co-op that would be fantastic as well. Maybe one of your friends comes up and kicks the door open and deals some extra damage. Maybe if they have flesh rippers or just barehanded, you just kick the door open and just whoosh, absolutely slams the hell out of a seeker. I think these mechanics would have overwhelmingly positive impact on tower shields going forward. Having a pull mechanic and some sort of way to be proactive and get yourself out of a situation where you're just turtling and doing nothing without risking a retaliation from the enemies when you're going to swing, basically putting your shield to the side. I think you incorporate those two into a tower shield and all tower shields from then on, maybe even incorporate it early if people are a big fan of the idea. Go for it. I think that would fix tower shields. I think that would make them wonderful. I think if you're going to have this maybe shield bash, shield slam, have the capacity to have a higher knockback, then maybe reduce the block force a little bit, have the block force applied to that maybe instead. Because otherwise, having a lot of enemies somewhat nearby, not too far, is really quite good for co-op combat and just really getting your combos down and destroying enemies, especially in tight situations, tight quarters. Maybe you're filling camps, your dungeons, especially seekers in the infested mines. You don't want to send them too far away because then they start flying at you. And it's like, okay, well then now me being a tank, it's like I've got enemies in 3D situations, all up in the air. I can only face one way. Bit of an issue. So having a lower knockback on the basic block, I know people's neurons activate a lot. Well, oh, I can throw the spear. Oh, I can use knife middle mouse. That's fine. I mean, it's much better to combo a big defensive unit like that with something frosty to slow enemies down to really, really take them out of the combat experience. I'm talking Mistwalker, I'm talking Frostner. That Mistwalker especially is just unreal for just shutting enemies down one-handed. Combo friendly knockback plus slowdown. Whew. Amazing. Plus you have good spacing with the middle mouse regardless. If you are going to send enemies back a little bit with maybe the door slam open or shield slam, you can space out some middle mouse thing. Now, there are still issues, but those issues can be reduced via the balance of the additional factors that I've suggested. So how much damage, how much staggering is the shield slam / door opening going to deal? Depending on how good that is, that might mitigate the 20% move speed reduction that these tower shields tend to give. Okay, do they have any other secondary resistances? Like the special tower shield Serpent Scale Shield has a Pierce Res, which actually comes up pretty good in the Mistlands when you're facing Starred Seekers. They do a lot of Pierce, they only have one blunt move. It's very easy to keep track of that. And it stacks with the Root Harnesk. Usually double resistances won't stack, but that's only if they're on the same layer of defense. You have your shield layer, your body layer, you'll have, if you have staff protection, that's a bubble layer that goes above that that will stack with your shield layer. All of these things stack up with each other if they are on different layers. So Bone Mass or the Root Harnesk, they won't stack because they're both body layer, but the shield layer, being the Serpent Scale Shield plus the Root Harnesk / Bone Mass, those two will stack. And I've got it on video, proof, recorded. I have a whole video on it, link in description. The resistances stacking is phenomenal. So maybe if you get some nice secondary resistances as benefits for other pieces of armor, like chest pieces, leggings, something interesting like that on some heavy armor pieces to go with a tank build, they could potentially stack with a very unique tower shield in the future. So Hexagonal Gate, I'm not quite sure what resistance this might have. We'll have to see. I don't know if it needs anything, if it's going to be productive in being a pull and also a shield slam. Let me know what you guys think of the idea. I will link the Serpent Scale Shield video in the description. And yeah, should it be a retroactive change? Should it be all tower shields that have these benefits? Should they just be exceptional on the door shield? You know, I don't know, but I like this idea. I think tower shields need a lot more love than just very good passive benefits. In the case of, well, Serpent Scale Shield is a little bit situational, but I'd love for offhand options to be very, very proactive instead of reactive, and I think Shield Slam would be a great option for that. And pulls too. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys another time. Bye!